Okay, welcome everybody. All right, got to start off. 10,000 pound gorilla sitting right here in the room. If you didn't hear about it and see some of the news coming out from FedEx, not good, not good. Their new CEO, this Raj Subramaniam, he took over in June. And let's just say the numbers that they put out for June, they're nowhere near where they were supposed to be. I guess the business has continued to deteriorate. A lot of this you can attribute to China, Asia, the continued COVID shutdowns that they have, but it's deeper than that, without a doubt. Stock down right now 20%. Pre-market. FedEx moving 20% to the downside pre-market. And you take a look at the futures. Again, I'll timestamp. This is pre-market podcast today, are very much to the downside. And again, with today's got triple witching today when it comes to options. So expect a hell of a lot of volatility towards the end of the trading day. With that said, okay, again, what does that mean? What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything if you're a long-term investor. Things could turn around quickly if you have some of the bigger issues that are out there. Again, China decides to start. I don't know if they start deciding that they're going to move away from the ridiculous COVID policies. If we can actually get somewhere when it comes to Ukraine and Russia. Not only that, maybe we can get some of these central bankers get their heads out of their derrieres and understand that raising rates is not going to help. Still, you get this back and forth tug of war, and it's with these people that are on TV that, again, they've been told to say, it's like, you know what? I'm going to go to Plato's allegory of the cave. And Plato, it's this cave allegory where basically people are spending their entire lives watching shadows on a cave wall, rather than turning around and looking into the light. A lot of economic theories, things that are put forward, things that all of these Ivy League economists gobble up, this concept, this never-ending cycle. We need to have a business cycle. No, there's no need for a business cycle. There's disconnects because of subsidies, because of too much money printing. I get all of that. But I've yet to see a single person go on TV and explain to me how tanking the economy is going to actually help. Oh, it's going to get rid of all of the demand. At what cost? Every single time I hear this, and I know I've mentioned before here on the podcast, the whole thing is, to me, it's like that. I should look it up. From the Vietnam War, we have to destroy the village in order to save it. No, you don't. You don't. Inflation is running hot due to man-made reasons. It's just that simple. Do you think inflation would be where it was today if if energy policy was different, if the energy companies kept producing, and if we had been in charge of our own destiny, our own future like we were prior? I'm sorry, it was prior to this administration. We controlled the narrative. Now we don't do it any longer. We don't. Okay, again, this is by design. This is by choice. Okay, this is what people voted for. It is what it is. I mean, that's a major input cost. Not to mention, you talk about all of the ridiculous regulations. You talk about all of the money printing. You're talking about the waste. If we didn't waste so much capital, I talk about too much money supply, too much money out there. Well, it depends on how money is being used and how it's being invested. I do believe more often than not that, businesses are going to be much better stewards than government, because what happens with businesses is eventually they go under. Eventually they run out of money. Eventually people say, wait a second here, this business is not working. And you can fool the overall markets. You want to call it, you're not really fooling the markets. That's a wrong way of phrasing it. You can fool people in regards to your business for an extended period of time, a long time. How many companies have we highlighted here? We made fun of, WeWork. I mean, it is countless. And yeah, you can fool people for a period of time, but eventually the truth comes. But when it comes to government, it's not the case. Once you start something, it never ends, and money keeps getting thrown at it. And that's one of the issues that we're dealing with. Saw today, our debt, our national debt is approaching $31 trillion. $31 trillion. About $7 trillion of that is held by foreign entities. I think Japan is the first. China, I think, is second. You also have, I think it was Luxembourg has got a bunch, Cayman Islands. You've got intergovernmental agencies holding a bunch, and the rest is held by us. Again, what happens? You just think about that bill, $31 trillion. $31 trillion. And you think about interest rates that are much higher and what that would do to our budget. So in essence, everything that the Fed is going to do, it's in essence, it's a half measure. They can't go high enough to actually put the kibosh on the entire thing quickly and make it, as painless as possible. They're going to have to drag this out. Again, at some point in time, and if this everything is accurate with FedEx, again, we got to hear from UPS as well. The Fed's not going to be able to continue to raise rates. They're not. Anyway, Redfin is predicting the sharpest turn in the housing market since the 2008 crash. Story, if you're looking to buy a home soon, you're in luck after 2 years of record high sales. Data is showing the housing market is starting to cool down. Yeah, of course it's going to start to cool down. Inverse relationship between mortgage rates and housing prices. The one disconnect that I see is that, again, you still have a lot of all cash buyers. A lot of all cash buyers that are still inflating real estate markets in areas that are popular with retirees. Again, I mentioned this yesterday. The side effect of that is that they're going to have less cash to go out and spend and do things. It's just the reality of the situation. Again, it's dynamic when it comes to retirement and retirement planning. If you're choosing to do that, houses are getting much more expensive in those areas. Still, I've seen some signs of slight cracks in some markets in these popular areas, but nothing really significant at this point in time. I think for many other places around the country, they're gonna get hit hard unless you're in a prime area. You expect prices to come down. Almost half stock pickers beat the market in early 2022 sell-off. Again, you see the story in the Wall Street Journal. Again, kind of goes to the, you just want to call it the youth and inexperience of some of their journalists here. Again, people, when you have market sell-offs, without a doubt, people that are obviously more nimble stock pickers are going to do better than the indices. It's just the way it is. Okay, when you have, and the opposite is true. When you have raging bull markets out of control, markets skyrocketing, and the indices beat the stock pickers, because more often than not, stock pickers, at least intelligent ones, are obviously hedging positions and have to be a hell of a lot more careful when it comes to downsides. Now, when you get into certain funds out there, they have certain rules that they have to follow when it comes to their portfolios that limit them to some degree. And again, I'm going to discuss this weekend on the radio show and taking a look at, we're going to actually look at 20-year periods of time. 20-year periods of time where you're saying to yourself, okay, I'll give you an example right now. You go from 1979, you go to 2000. Okay. Basically, you look at the overall market, it's like this. It's straight up. But then you go from 2000 to 2020, you have, 5-year periods of time, twice 6-year periods of time where the markets went down, came back, went down, back, came back. They didn't really do much. It didn't go up. It went up. The 20-year period of time, market was significantly higher, but there was lengthy periods of time where it really didn't do much of anything. Now, why does that matter? Well, it depends on where you are in life. My position, okay, I'm taking a look at what's happening right now. My portfolio, I don't even need to take a look. I don't care. All of this stuff is short term. It doesn't matter to me. These are periods of time we're going to go through, but I don't need to have access to my portfolio and my money for a lengthy period of time. Again, I don't think I'm ever going to retire. That's just me. Things change. Who knows? Who knows? Again, I mention it all the time. You want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. I'm not planning on retiring. I mean, God forbid something might happen to me where it might force me to, health issue, whatever it may be. I don't know, God forbid. But these are some of the periods of time and realities that certain people have to deal with, especially people that are living off of these portfolios. So this weekend on the radio show, we'll discuss that at greater length. And we also have strategies that we implement to help people to deal with these periods of time. Anyway, then changing course here a little bit. Yeah, I saw this again. This stuff, it drives me absolutely berserk. Pfizer's got a fellowship program, and it's a great program. Summer internships for rising college seniors, 2 years of full employment after college, corporate funded scholarships for 2-year master's program, another summer internship, and guarantee of postgraduate employment. But if you're a certain color, you might as well not apply. And you can guess what that is. Applicants must meet the program's goals of increasing the pipeline for Black, African American, Latino, Hispanic, and Native Americans. These quotas, people, you want to say you have some of the people on the left saying that we're more racist now than we've been in ages. Yeah, this is wrong. In fact, it's kind of embarrassing. It really is. I mean, maybe some people wouldn't care. You're Black, Latino, Native American. Would you want to get by or get somewhere based upon the color of your skin? Or would you rather do it on merit? Would you rather have that sitting in the back of your mind? Again, there's plenty of ways that people can justify things, and systemic racism, and it's been held down for periods of time, whatever. Okay. You can do a little homework in history and take a look at the plight of immigrants and what they've had to go through from various different places over the past several generations. And in the same line, you got this CEO from Twilio cloud company, again, grow at all costs cloud company. Guess what? Growing too fast. They're having to lay people off. They're having a mass layoff. But listen, this is their announcement. Okay. Layoffs like this can have a more powerful impact on marginalized communities. Again, if you get laid off, you get laid off. Does it matter what community you come from? So we're particularly focused on ensuring our layoffs while a business necessity today were carried out through an anti-racist, anti-oppression lens. The flip does that mean? What does it mean? There was a Saturday Night Live skit. The genius, the genius of Eddie Murphy. Yeah, it's 1980s. And it was this reggae band that was playing. I think it was at an American Legion. And Eddie Murphy is singing the lead on the reggae band. And the song was, "Kill the white people, but buy my record first." Again, it just popped into my head. It was, great skit from back in the day. Fire the white people, I guess. Now, I don't understand what this guy's saying, what it means. Did he make himself feel good or try to, cushion the blow with all of the woke idiots out there? Because they truly are idiots. You're laying people off, okay? You screwed up. Your business grew too fast. You hired too many people. Now you have to lay them off. And you're going to we're going to make sure that we're doing this in a non-racist way. What business gets rid of people in a racist way? I don't get it. And if a business does do that, guess what? That business is going to go under anyway. Just stupid. You want to hire the best and the brightest for any position. I say it all the time. I don't care if you're purple green, the one-eyed, one-horn flying purple people eater. If you can do the job, you're going to get hired. Anyway, I have to talk about this. Again, a lot of people trying to mention it yesterday. DeSantis sending 50 Venezuelan migrants to Martha's Vineyard. And without a doubt, it's to make a point. We've seen migrants come into Chicago. A bunch just were dropped off at Kamala Harris's residence in Washington, D.C. We've had them come to New York, sending them to sanctuary cities. And again, you get the administration, you get a lot of Democrats out there. You're using these migrants as political pawns. I'm not going to argue that. They are being used as political pawns. Again, I understand what these governors are doing. You get to some point in time where you've got to, you're perpetually having to take all of these people in and nothing is being done. You're not being helped and the law is not being followed. I get it. It was Ted Cruz, mentioned. It was Del Rio, Texas. The population of 30,000 people. They got flooded with 15,000. I mean, Martha's Vineyard is scrambling with 50. Okay? You could fit those 50 migrants at Obama's house in Martha's Vineyard. I'm sure he's not there right now. You could fit them there. Imagine being a community of 30,000 people and half your population comes in. Venice, Italy got sick and tired of all the tourists coming in every single day, the amount that was coming in from the cruise ships, and they put the kibosh to that. And these are tourists with money that were there to spend, and their stores are like, no, screw this, is crazy. Again, I am really, I've had it. I really have with the Republican Party. I don't want to see Kevin McCarthy. I don't want to see Mitch McConnell. I don't want to see Lindsey Graham. I'm sick and tired of seeing their ugly mugs on TV. I'm sick and tired of seeing these people paraded on Hannity and Laura Ingraham and all the other BS shows on Fox News. And I'm sorry, I don't want to tick anybody off out there, but it is what it is. They're all full of it. Republican Party's not doing a damn thing when it comes to immigration. There's been a great proposal. We've talked about it here on the podcast. We talked about it on the radio show, put forth by Maria Salazar from Miami. And again, she is Cuban descent into this country. It's called the Dignity Act, and I want to go over it again. It's just compromise. people. This is what it looks like. The Dignity Act, Border Security and Enforcement, authorizes funding to fully secure America's border at no cost to American taxpayers. Implements best border technology available, including radar, cameras, infrared, secure communications, and autonomous detection technology. Restarts all currently paused border infrastructure contracts and increases funding for physical border infrastructure. That's for the Build the Wall crowd. Hires 3,000 new DHS border security personnel and prioritizes hiring of military veterans and law enforcement agents. Creates a task force to detect and destroy cartel smuggling tunnels along the southern border. Mandates 100% nationwide, thank God, E-Verify to ensure all American businesses are hiring legal workers. Now, many businesses out there, I know, they don't survive without their illegal workers. They don't. But wait, hold on, okay? Increases criminal penalties for illegal border crossings and immediately deports illegal immigrants who commit crimes. Expands U.S. authorities to go after transnational criminals, smugglers, human traffickers, drug traffickers, and gangs like MS-13 operating outside the United States. Establishes 4 regional processing centers to house asylum claimants at the border to end catch and release policies. Enacts last in, first out judicial policy to cut down multi-year backlog in immigration courts. Hires 1,700 new immigration court personnel to rule on asylum cases faster. Curbs irregular migration from Central America and address root causes of northern migration by bringing law, order, and increased development to Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras. Okay. Enforcement covers the gamut, right? Covers everything. Now, again, I know you're going to get a lot of business owners. You're going to get the U.S. Chamber of Commerce not going to like E-Verify. Nah. Okay, but we're going to deal with the people that are in the United States. This is the issue that we've been talking about for a while. Creates immediate legal status and streamlined path for dreamers. Compromise. It's a compromise. I don't have any problem with that at all. Now, I like this. Follow along. Dignity program. It's a 10-year program. Through the 10-year Dignity program, undocumented immigrants will be provided a chance to work, earn legal status, pay restitution, and get right with the law. They must comply with all federal and state laws, pass a criminal background check, work or serve as a family caregiver, and pay taxes. They must contribute to the American Worker Fund to begin the program. The Dignity Program provides work authorization and protection from removal proceedings as long as conditions are being met. Okay? This is all the people that anti-E-Verify. You're going to get your workers. Dignity participants will pay $10,000 in restitution during the 10 years of the program. They must check in with DHS every 2 years and must remain in good public standing. Any problem with this at all? Okay. I'm not the anti-immigration people. You drive me crazy. There has to be a compromise here. Is there any problem with this? Individuals in the Dignity Program will not have access to federal means-tested benefits or entitlements. You're not getting any government assistance. You are going to be a contributor to tax revenue and the U.S. economy. The redemption program. Okay, you got the 10-year Dignity Program. Now you got another 5 years. Redemption program. Redemption program is optional, and individuals must complete the 10-year Dignity Program to start the redemption program. It will offer a chance at redemption and to earn more permanent legal status. The 5-year redemption program requires that participants learn English and U.S. civics and provides the opportunity for those seeking permanent legal status to contribute to their local community, either through local volunteer work, a national community service, or increased contributions into the American Worker Fund. It also opens up eligibility for existing pathways to citizenship, but would not be a special pathway. Individuals applying would go to the back of the line. Enforcement through a functioning mandatory e-verify system and certification of a fully secure border will be completed before the redemption program can begin. Again, there's some other caveats here. I'm not going to spend the entire time going over it. What the hell's the problem with this? Is this not a solution to the problem? Is it a common sense solution to the problem? Is this not a compromise? I don't understand. I don't understand why Republicans, especially with what's going on right now, are not pushing this. This is also, it helps in regards to the labor issues that we're having here and labor cost inflation, and we need more workers. And like I said, not a day goes by again today, New York News Day, another restaurant shuts down. Owner says, that's it, I'm working too much. I can't do this anymore. This is nuts. You don't think that this might help? Again, anyway, people, I know I'm showing a little bit of frustration here, but I've showed frustration on many occasions throughout my years, 20 plus years doing this program, and just my utter disgust with the political landscape and the rah Republicans and worshiping these back. Do me a favor, okay? Find some people that are actually competent, some people that actually want to get things done, and this is someone that actually wants to do something. I don't understand why Republicans are not rallying around this. Anyway, see, I told you so moment when it comes to Germany. Again, Germany is going to start delivering tanks and weapons to the Ukraine. No, they're not doing it. They're doing everything and anything they can to hold up hold up all of the weapons and tanks and things that they had promised the Ukraine. We told you that would be the case. You think that some of these countries are reliable partners? Think again. And again, Germany is going to operate in the best interests of Germany. And if, Olaf got on the phone with Vladimir and said, hey, listen, give us a break. We need our energy. We'll stop sending, tanks, weapons. We won't send them, just kind of, keep our energy flowing. We got to keep everything going over here. Would that surprise any of you? No. And this is kind of the problem. You get these massive organizations, NATO. Oh, we're pulling everybody together. Coalition of the willing. That was one of the funny ones too. That was the George W. Bush. We got a coalition of the willing. And he talks about all these nations are helping out in Afghanistan and Iraq. What a bunch of bull excrement. Come on. We all know what countries did the heavy lifting. Let's just be honest, people. We all know. Okay? So stop BSing us. Yeah, it's sad. I saw this story again today talking about how we've got military brass here in this country telling enlisted men and women to get on food stamps, to go on to the SNAP program. That's what they're telling. We've sent, I don't know how much, $16 billion to the Ukraine. I think they authorized another 800, I don't know how much yesterday, another 800 million yesterday in more weapons. We spend more in our military than the next 6-7 countries combined. And we're telling our military personnel to go on food stamps. How do you not think that is completely effed up? How? I mean, again, Where are you, Republicans? Why are you not bang? Oh, I don't know. Maybe you want all that money to go to your buddies in the defense, the defense contractors rather than the personnel. Do you understand how embarrassing, how pathetic this United States of America? We're telling our military personnel to go on public assistance. Anyway. I'm being honest here, and I know I'm going to piss off all the super Trumpsters. I don't even want to hear the word Trump anymore. I don't want to hear Trump. I don't want to hear Mar-a-Lago. I don't want to hear special master FBI. The whole thing stinks to high heaven. It's embarrassing. It puts me in a bed. I get depressed. I don't want to hear about it anymore. Can I say something? All this documents. They got this special master here. You got to be able to review the documents to make sure that the FBI is not doing something unscrupulous. The FBI automatically assume. I don't trust the FBI at all. They automatically assume that the Department of Justice, again, talk about an oxymoron, FBI is doing something unscrupulous. We've seen it for generations now, but we still have the bloody FBI. Okay? We still have the same people over at the CIA, the same crap again and again and again. Nothing is done about it. You want to solve this problem, though? If you're president of the United States, if you are a government worker, you're a government worker, you are a member of the House, Senate, you serve in any sort of capacity. You shouldn't be allowed to take anything. I don't, why? And again, for a life of me, I don't understand. Somebody want to explain to me why Trump needs these boxes of documents, or why, Hillary Clinton needed to keep stuff on her, have a special server. And the Clintons as well. Then they take some furniture out of the White House with them. Redneck. I mean, honestly, are you kidding me? You kidding me? You should just leave. You shouldn't take a bloody pencil, a pen, stationery. It's not yours. Everything is the taxpayers. It's not yours. Walk the hell away. I mean, what is this? Can anybody get their arms around this? Why in the world would any politician, why do you need to take documents? Unless you're trying to, hide something, cover something, use something. It's not yours. It's the taxpayers. Again, someone want to explain that one to me? I'm just curious. Maybe I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but acquiring minds want to know why you would need to take anything out of that office. What was it? They were talking about that with, it was like Harry Truman. He wouldn't even take a pen. When he left, he didn't even take a pencil that said, White House out of the place. Refused to. Anyway, I saw this story. And again, I'm going to just go over it quickly here. Philadelphia soda tax completely backfired. This, again, I thought this was 5 years ago. I remember talking about this on the program, making fun of this and what was going to happen. According to researchers from the University of Georgia, 5 years after Philadelphia imposed a tax on sugary drinks, demand for sugary drinks did drop 31%. However, consumers simply turned to other sweets or traveled to nearby towns to buy soda, which is, thank you, University of Georgia researchers. But again, we're better than bloody Miss Cleo here on the program. You don't need to be Miss Cleo. You just need to have a head on your shoulders, understand how the world works. What did you think was going to happen? We told you this was going to be a joke and it was going to fail. Anyway, it's a Breitbart story. Had a former CIA station chief talking about how the intelligence agencies cannot be reformed unless the president can fire everybody. And this is one of the things that I talked about. Donald Trump made the mistake. I mean, I like the idea. I mean, trust me, I'm all about draining the swamp. And he ran on that, but it's easier said than done. You've got to put into place, you got to change a myriad of things, which allows you to have, wholesale fire a lot of people in these positions. They're entrenched. I mean, remember Stroke and his girlfriend and all these people that are an entire bureaucracy that thinks a certain way that is actively working against you. It's like a bunch of people that are right there willing to stab you in the back. That's what they're there for. Project Veritas has done an unbelievable job with this. Again, this is why you have to be a little bit more clever. You have to be a little bit more stealthy if you want to drain the swamp. Oh yeah, Ted. Here was the story. I mentioned it earlier. 15,000. It was one day. 15,000 Haitian illegal immigrants entered Del Rio in one day. One day. How come that doesn't make national news? 50 people show up at Martha's Vineyard. Oh, my Lord, merciful, it's a humanitarian crisis. 15,000 show up in one day into a community of 30,000 people. And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think the residents of Del Rio have the type of money the people of Martha's Vineyard do. Just saying. McDonald's story. McDonald's called out Chicago. McDonald's, that's their corporate headquarters. They also have 400 restaurants. The CEO of the company issued a warning about the city's crime and social deterioration. Dude, where you been? This has been going on for some time now. Everywhere I go, I am confronted by the same question these days. What's going on in Chicago? There's a general sense out there that our city is in crisis. A fast food chain moved its headquarters from the suburbs in 2018. And he estimates that his economic contribution to the city at $2 billion. He says lawlessness has taken a toll. It's felt most significantly every single day in the restaurants. We have violent crime that is happening in our restaurants. We're seeing homelessness issues in our restaurants. We're having drug overdoses that are happening in our restaurants. Calling Mayor Lori Lightfoot. When residents no longer feel safe at a major restaurant chain, and a CEO issues a public plea, social order is breaking down. It's been breaking down for a long period of time. And I have to believe, quite frankly, that McDonald's got some sort of sweetheart deal. I don't know. Probably got some sort of sweetheart deal to move to downtown Chicago, because who in their right mind stays in a high tax state? Why? Why would you do that? Unless they're cutting you a special deal, which I have to believe that's happened. So again, Chris, you want to move McDonald's corporate headquarters somewhere else where there's lower taxes and less crime. Go ahead. Go right ahead. I mean, anybody holding you down there? You're seeing more and more businesses move out of these areas. So again, I would look a little bit deeper into this. I think he probably made a deal that he probably can't get out of at this point in time. We'll end with this one. 1,300 New York Times employees are pledging not to return to the office. These are journalists. Many of them journalists. How do you... I don't know. This seems like a job that you would have to be out and about. No, I mean, can you just operate as a journalist just by sitting at your desk? You work for the New York Times, and let's say you live out in Long Island or New Jersey. How do you write a story if you can't get the overall feel for what's going on in that city? And even if you're a national or business reporter, don't you have to be out and about? Don't you have to get a feeling for this stuff? I don't get it. A lot of the people there are upset. They don't like the fact that the inflation is kicking in. And again, this inflation's kicking in. Why? Because of all these government handouts and giveaways and subsidies and all this shit that you guys push for all the time. And they're not happy at some of the executives at the New York Times got raises, and their raises aren't high enough. And these are all union journalists. We'll see what happens. But again, I mean, you're a journalist and just sit in front of your computer. I mean, how much can you actually do that? Anyway, have a great weekend, everybody. WatchDogOnWallStreet.com. WatchDogOnWallStreet.com is our site.